Hey, coming up on Chargers Talk 4630 this Thursday, the Chargers rookie class reports to training camp. Now, I know a lot of fans are already looking ahead to preseason games, the 53-man roster, and who's going to win this job, who's going to win that job. But hold on for a second. We all getting ahead of ourselves. Before these rookies ever put on full pads, before they ever line up against another NFL team, they got a whole lot of work to do just to become NFL professionals. So today, I want to slow everything down and talk about what these first few days are really about, what Jim Harbaugh and this coaching staff will be looking for, and why this week has a lot more to do with learning than it does winning jobs. I'm Stacy. This is Chargers Talk 4630. Let's get this thing started. Hello, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Chargers Talk 4630. I appreciate all of you for taking a few minutes out of your day to hang out with me. I want to say real quick, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. And also check us out at SLM Expressions for more Chargers exclusive content. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Yesterday, I was sitting here trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about today. And for the first time in a long time, my mind just kept coming up with a blank. And the reason why that was is because we've covered just about everything, right? We talked about Justin Herbert. We talked about the offensive line, the running backs, the receivers, the tight ends, the defense. We talked about Mike McDaniel, Chris O'Leary. We talked about the entire coaching staff, the position battles. I mean, I think we covered all of it. But then I stopped for a minute and I thought to myself, Stacy, slow your brain down. The veterans is not here yet. The only guys that's reporting this week are the rookies. So why not talk about what this week is really all about for them, right? I think when we hear training camp, right away we start thinking about depth charts and preseason games, but that's not where this starts. This starts right inside the building at SoFi. And let me tell you something. These first few days are probably some of the most important days these young men is going to have all year. Not because they're trying to win starting jobs, not because they're trying to make highlight plays, but because this is where they begin learning how to be NFL players, right? This week is not about winning jobs. I actually been getting asked a lot of questions in the comments on the podcast, in the comment sections, right? Asking me like, who's going to win the job? Who do you think is going to move up the depth chart and all that stuff? But look, we're just not there yet. Nobody is winning the starting job Thursday, right? Nobody is making a 53-man roster this week, right? What these guys are trying to do is earn trust. Think about it for a second. Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh, they didn't draft these players hoping they could play football. They already know they could play football. Hell, that's why they drafted them. But now I think the question changes for the rookies. Like, can you show up every day on time? Can you handle being coached hard? Can you take a correction without letting it affect your next rep, right? Can you learn a brand new playbook? Can you process a lot of information without getting overwhelmed? That's what this week is really about. It's about proving you belong. Really, a lot of people think these guys just going to show up on Thursday morning, throw on a helmet and start practicing. But that's not how this works. The first couple of days are packed, right? They're going to go through medical evaluations, physicals, equipment fittings, right? Just making sure the helmet fits exactly the way it's supposed to. Making sure the shoulder pads fit correctly and trying on game uniforms, right? They getting introduced to the training staff, the equipment staff, strength coaches. They just learning how the building operates. Then comes the classroom stuff, right? And this is where things really start moving fast. These guys are getting introduced to the playbook, the terminology, the daily schedule, the position meetings, stuff like walkthroughs and film study, right? They learning how this organization expect things to be done from them. And some other things that we don't really think about that all comes into play is this. These guys are going to be put in situations where there might be 100 reporters, 50 cameras or more, and a ton of microphones in their face right after a tough workout, right after a long practice, or even after a bad day, right? And in those moments, they're going to be asked some very difficult questions. You might have seen a teammate do something he shouldn't have done. You might have heard a coach say something that you don't agree with. A beat reporter might have heard something And now they're coming straight to you, asking questions, looking to get a reaction. Maybe even looking for a viral moment or something they could possibly turn into a headline. That's the real pressure. So part of what these rookies are learning this week is how to handle all this stuff, right? How to respond, how much to say, when to elaborate, and when to just keep it simple and just move on, because this is the NFL. Everything you say in this league matters. Everything you say or do gets replayed. And if you're not prepared for that, it could get you in trouble real fast. Then there's the financial side of things. And this is huge, right? A lot of these young men are about to come into more money than they have ever seen in their entire lives. We're talking about life-changing money. And if you're not taught how to manage that money, if you don't have the right people in your corner, if you don't understand how to budget, invest, and protect what you're earning, it can disappear just as fast as it came. We've seen it happen before, right? Guys come into the league, get paid, and within a season or two, they're broke. So the NFL and these teams make sure these rookies are getting financial education. They're learning how to handle their money, how to avoid bad decisions, and how to make sure they get people they trust looking out for their best interests, because being in the NFL is not just about what you do on the football field. It's about how you handle everything that comes with it, right? There's a reason the rookies report before the veterans. They need these extra days. Justin Herbert don't need nobody showing him where the quarterback room is. Derwin James already knows what it feels like to be inside an NFL meeting, right? Khalil Mack been doing this for years. These rookies have never experienced anything like this before. So those extra days give those rookies a chance to get comfortable before the rest of the team walks through that door. Now, here's a few things I'm going to be looking for from this rookie draft class. I'm not looking for somebody to come in and win a starting job this week. I'm looking to see who looks comfortable, who looks prepared, who picks things up quickly. Take Hakeem Mesidor. I'm not worried about sacks right now. I want to see that motor we saw in college. I want to see what he's been learning while being away from the team. How explosive does he look, right? Jake Slaughter. To me, he's one of the most interesting players in this entire rookie draft class, because everybody knows he plays center in college, but now there's a chance he could compete for the left guard position. That tells me the Chargers see him not just as a hell of an athlete, but a guy that's very versatile, who has the skill set to play multiple positions, and I'm watching to see if the game looks too fast for him mentally. How quickly do he pick up the terminology, and how does he communicate with the rest of the guys on the line when a play call comes through? How comfortable does he look when the coaches start throwing a whole lot at him? Because if he handles all that well, he's putting himself in a great position once the veterans get there, right? Then you got Brennan Thompson. Everybody talks about the speed, and rightfully so. But just speed don't keep you on the field in the NFL. Can he run clean routes? Can he catch the football consistently? Can the coaches trust him to be exactly where he's supposed to be? Those are the things that matter this week, right? And honestly, you could say the same thing about every rookie walking into that building. Nobody's asking them to be stars on day one. They asking them to learn, they asking them to compete, and they asking them to improve every single day. And I'll close with this. As we get ready for rookie reporting day, don't get caught up in who's making a great catch or who had a bad rep, right? That's not what this week is about. This week is about laying a foundation, learning the playbook, learning the expectations, and learning how to be a professional, because once the veterans report next week, everything is going to change. The tempo going to pick up, the competition going to get tougher, and that's when we'll really start learning what this football team is going to look like. But for right now, these young men have one job: show up, learn, compete, and earn the trust of this coaching staff, and everything else will take care of itself. And before I get out of here, I just want to take a moment to say thank you to everybody who tuned in, everybody who's been supporting everything that I've been doing with this podcast, right? I truly appreciate it. If you haven't liked, shared, or subscribed yet, please make sure you do so. It really helps the channel grow. I also want to give a big shout out and thank you to everybody supporting SLM Expressions. We can't wait for the season to start. There's so many things on SLM Expressions that are educational and football related, right? We got trivia questions, historical moments in football, a lot of different games, a review page, even a live chat room where everybody can come together and talk football. We also have a section that supports mental health. So we got a section dedicated to a lot of things, and the support has been amazing. Everybody's been coming through, and we can't wait to see that continue to grow. And remember, you don't have to just be a Chargers fan. We've got something for all 32 teams in the league. It doesn't matter what team you root for. You can come through, and SLM Expressions can be your #1 source for football information and football content. And last but not least, don't forget this Friday on our live fan call-in show, we're going to have Adam Schultz joining us. Adam is a freelance writer and journalist that's worked with Sports Illustrated. He's currently writing for the Sport News, and he's interviewed various athletes across the NFL. So Friday, he's going to sit down with me, and we're going to take phone calls. We're going to talk about everything that's going on around training camp, right? You definitely don't want to miss this. As always, let me know what you think down in the comments. Which rookie are you going to be keeping the closest eye on these next several days? I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, I'm Stacy. This is Chargers Talk 4630. Bolt up.